Hey everyone, welcome back. So, I ran in a situation today and I want to talk about these little guys. These little 5-volt chargers. Use them to charge your cell phone, use them to charge your tablet. Doctors use them all the time around patients. You can get large ones, there's tiny ones. But these little USB chargers electrically are very different. You would think they're all the same. They all take a USB, they all charge your cell phone, everybody's happy, right? That is very, very wrong. These things are not only every shape and size, but I'm going to show you electrically how they're very, very different and how some of them can be very cheap. Although they look like they're really nice, they're extremely cheap. And if they're within a proximity of a patient, they can and maybe will interfere with the patient monitoring, and it's going to create a problem, which is something that I experienced. Life delights. Hey man, welcome. So I was going to create a video about electrical noise and how to suppress it. And over the course of the year, I just haven't been able to compile it. I don't know if it was I didn't want to or whatever, but I really wanted to make a video about electrical noise. And thus far, I just haven't. But today I noticed a trend and something that I want to show you guys, because these little chargers, you know, you would think like big name brands, like I've got Samsung. Let's see, what's this one? This one came with some digital cameras. So this one here is probably a generic Chinese part. I have an original real Apple charger. I've got an Amazon charger and a Nintendo charger. And I've also got some larger ones. This one here is Sabrent. It's a very heavy unit. And this one here is a 5-port, what is this, XL, Power XL. So what I want to show you guys, using the oscilloscope, since you know, some people have been asking me, how do we use the oscilloscope? I'm gonna show you how you can use it to detect noise, because if you have a patient that is on EEG monitoring, or if they're pulling an EKG around the patient, and let's say the patient's cell phone is right next to them, probably being charged, well, something as simple as one of these devices right here could be the thing that ruins your afternoon. In other words, they keep complaining that, hey, we've got the signal here on the patient monitor, we don't know what the heck it's coming from. It's interference. We've tried shutting the lights off, turning them on, stuff like that. We don't know what's going on. The reason I know about this is because I was that guy. I was that guy that had to drive in, and what I ended up finding was a version of a charger that looks a lot like this Apple charger, but it was not an Apple charger, and it was right next to the patient bed, plugged into one of the electrical outlets by the headboard, and it created a hell of a lot of interference. Now this happened several years ago, but I experienced something kind of like that today, so I wanted to share it with you guys. So I have a variety of USB chargers, power banks. I use this one in my house to charge all my tablets, all my VR gears, stuff like that. I use this one because it's got 12 amps of power. That's a lot of power. So 12 amps at 5 volts. And how much is this guy? So this guy's 5 amps at 5 volts. The little Nintendo guy here, this is 1.5 amps, which is actually kind of decent considering the size. This one here is 500 milliamps. So this one here is 1/3 the amount of power as this one. So size doesn't always matter. Let's see, this one here. Well, this guy has got 2 output voltages. That's interesting. So this one here has 9 volt at 1.67 amps or 5 volt at 2 amps. Now I wonder if the 9 volt at 1.67 amps is when it's hooked up to a 240 volt. If you guys didn't know, because of the type of circuit that's inside these, they clip the AC voltage to what they need and nothing more. So almost every single one of these, if you read the stats, they'll say that it's 100 to 240 volts. And that's because unlike many other electronics that have a transformer that has a set tap, these ones here, they just clip just enough AC voltage to do what they got to do. So it's very low. I had to put a note on our central station telling staff, do not plug anything in the USB ports to charge your phone. You know something? You would think it's a more prevalent issue than it is. But as rooms are getting newer, they're starting to incorporate more AC outlets near the headboard, so they're getting in closer proximity to the patient. We're probably going to see these issues a little more often. So I've got my handy dandy oscilloscope here. Let's see, I'm going to point it so that you guys can hopefully see what's going on. How can I do that better? I've got some ideas. Because I want you guys to see what the oscilloscope's doing up close, because these, I honestly didn't believe that they were going to be that different. And it's almost so different that I could tell you which one is which just based on the pattern, kind of like a fingerprint. And again, since they're all 5 volt, you would not think that would be the case. But it is. Let's see. There we go. That gives you a better view, and I can just look at the screen right here. Okay, so my testing jig. I have a USB, a general USB cord, and there's 4 wires plus a ground inside your USB. You've got a white, a green, you've got a black and a red. So the black and the red are your 5 volt lines. It's your 5 volt and ground. And this end here is what I'm going to be switching between all the different power supplies so you guys can see. To get the most accurate results, I'm going to unplug, and I'm only going to plug one in at a time so that there's no crosstalk. And that way there, you know for sure that is exactly what this device is doing. So for my demo, I'm going to use the Chinese unit, okay? So this one here came with some of the security cameras that I've got. I think these are some older security cameras, but this is what it looked like. I should have a gram scale here so that I could tell you how heavy it weighs. You would think that weight would mean that it's got more filtering and it's got better circuitry inside. No, because believe it or not, they learned a long time ago about the whole weight thing. Like, this guy is extremely heavy, but I bet you if I took it apart, there is a pewter metal plate glued to the bottom. They've gotten very smart about that. If it feels like it's heavy, we automatically associate it with quality, which if any of you guys ever have any of those Gillette razors, all you got to do, you can take the end off the Gillette razor and out will come a metal slug, and it will be all rusted and corroded, because what they did is they poured some garbage metal inside that razor and they sealed it up just so it felt like it was heavy. So those what is it? It's not stainless steel look, but it's a very shiny metal, kind of like a nickel, chrome plated. Well, anyway, inside those is a metal slug of just pewter garbage metal. So anyway, don't take weight as a means of being a better circuit, because I'm going to prove that in just a moment. So we're going to start out with the Chinese unit. I'm going to go ahead and plug that guy in. In goes my 5 volt, and you can see immediately my meter takes off. Let's hit auto. Come on. There we go. So this is the 5 volt pattern. It looks pretty normal, looks pretty good, looks very steady. Yeah. Well, I am on DC coupling, and you're going to see the difference when you change your coupling on your meter to AC coupling. So now your meter is going to recognize AC patterns. Now, immediately you notice that it's flashing, right? Oh, there it goes. It finally found the pattern. Take a look at that guy. That one, it's all over the place, but That one is not so it's not so bad. When you got a static pattern like that, usually like regular filtering will smoothen it out and you'll be just fine. So that's the Chinese unit. Let's take it to the Samsung. Let's try out the Samsung. Now this one here came with a Samsung tablet. So you would think that this one here, 5 volts, 2 amps, this is probably a pretty good circuit, right? You would think. Okay. We don't see a huge amount of noise, but you see those spikes right there? Here, let's look at those spikes. Okay. That one's not so bad. Could be better. I'll prove it. It could be better. So let's take a look. Let's try an Amazon. Now this one here came with some Amazon cameras. Or was this a Fire Kindle? Anyway, this came with an Amazon device. So let's unplug that. So you guys see the pattern that it's finding right now. I bet you a lot of you guys understand what that's from. So what you're seeing is probably the LED drivers. Right above me is a large LED light. And these ones here I got at Harbor Freight. So I'll tell you right now that these ones here probably don't have the best filtering. Probably not. Matter of fact, if I were to raise the probe closer to the light, so yeah, let's take it off auto mode so that you guys can really see it, because this thing's going to adjust the it's going to adjust its range automatically. See how when you get near something, oh, look at that. Mind you, it's about a foot and a half away from the light. And this is what it's picking up, just ambient noise. Okay, so you can see as I pull it further away, it kind of straightens out a little bit. So that's that one. Let's try the Amazon unit. Now, Amazon is very good at making their products look like they're very, very high quality. But what the Amazon specialty is finding products that look like they're good, but they're really, you know, knockoff, or they're just regular units. Okay, so like the Amazon Fire and stuff, you can't even compare one of those to, say, an iPad or, you know, a Samsung unit. So not even close. So I haven't tested this one yet. We're gonna find out what Amazon's quality is like. Oh my gosh. Well, guys, that's Amazon. Let's put on auto. Let's see what it finds. Oh my gosh. That is an absolute nightmare. You would think Amazon, with their name stamped on the side, would be an exceptional product. And I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to plug in this Apple one at the very end, and I'll show you what a genuine Apple charger really looks like. It's a big difference, man. Really big. So you can see that one is noise. That is complete noise. While some of these units will have little spikes and a pattern like a sawtooth, that is something that you can filter or you can reduce. Noise like this, that's electrical noise. Anything within proximity to this bad boy is going to have some real problems. I'm putting the probe over towards it. Yeah, it's just going crazy. So anyway, that is 3 of them. Let's try out the Nintendo. Now, this Nintendo here, I think this goes to a Switch. Not really sure. Let's take a look. Now, Nintendo, Japanese are known for having their strict standards. So this one here is probably a pretty good power supply. Okay. Well, there you can see that there are spikes. Spikes, you know, definitely add some drama to your electrical, but it is very constant. Here, let me put it off auto mode. See, that's the thing about these meters. Unless they have like a crazy fast refresh rate, they will start flashing around like that. So you see, I let it find the signal, and then I choose the time division, the seconds to milliseconds, and I will put it in manual mode, and now it stabilizes. You see that? So that's Nintendo. Now you can already see that there's a big difference. Some of them are like a sawtooth, one of them is noise, one of them is really spiky. So that's a Nintendo power supply. So let's try the Power XL. So this is the Power XL. It's got AC that comes straight into it. This guy is reasonably powerful. 5 amps of charging power. Okay. Let's see what it does. I would swear that that is quieter than the Nintendo. Looks pretty good, actually. There's still some spikes. I don't know what those spikes are for. I don't know if those are sense spikes or if those are just like a leakage. I'm not really sure. Since they're so different, it would be really difficult to do research on why it does that. So let's try. This is the Sabre. Now, so far, this one right here off Amazon is my favorite bulk charger. So I have all sorts of stuff that I plug into this bad boy, and it just does the job, man. So here we go. Notice how the difference in the pattern, and you see the wavy line is your baseline. That's very interesting. I wonder if that changes as I load it up with 5-volt appliances. Let's take a look. That's what I thought. So as I increase the load on it, it changes. And it also gets a little noisy. You see that? So I bet you if I were to take this thing apart, it would be bare bones, extremely basic inside. So far, the power cell, which is easily 1/2 the weight of the Sabrent, the power cell, the Power XL, it did pretty good. Pretty good. So this one's a little noisy. I would not want this one in a medical environment, but it does charge things really well. I'll give it that, because I charge some serious hardware with this guy, and it does do it. So let's go ahead. Let's try the Apple charger. I saved this one to last because Apple is known for setting the standard, and these little guys, for the size of it, you know, it's probably half the weight of these other ones, and for the size of it, it's just incredible. Now there's another YouTube where the guy pulled it apart and he showed you the difference between the Chinese knockoff of one of these and the genuine Apple component. So this puts out 5 volts at 1 amp. 1 amp of charge on this little cube. So inside this are like 4 boards, and they are squished together as much as possible, one on each side. And you're going to see why right now. Do you see that? Is that not incredible? So the Apple charger has the least amount of noise out of absolutely all of them. You know, I might hate on Apple all the time, but I would tell you absolutely that this is just amazing. Look at it. It's almost a dead flat plane. My meter is on auto mode right now, so if it found like some sort of transient wave or something, it would have found it, and it'd be going nuts. In fact, it's so good That look at the noise that it's also filtering out just from the cable, from ambient, because it couples it. So that's an Apple charger, man. It's absolutely incredible. So I experimented with all sorts of different chargers, and you can see that if you had a patient that was being monitored for EEG, or if you were in an operating room, and let's say that people want to charge a cell phone in an operating room, I highly suggest only using Apple chargers, because some of these units here, now notice this one here, this is from the Chinese camera. Notice how you can see that there's a weird wave there. You can see a little bit going on. But that is not necessarily noise. Not necessarily noise. So this one here, the one that I stereotyped to be the worst out of all of them, I would put this one at probably number 2 next to Apple. And Nintendo, who I thought, all right, Nintendo is probably really, really good quality. You can see what's going on with the Nintendo. So it's not as pure as the Apple. And now, mind you, this is the charge in regular 5 volts DC, and I have my meter set to AC coupling. But when you are talking in a patient vicinity to having EEG or for EKG, the cardiograms, those are AC waveforms, okay? So that is an absolute difference. Now this one here, those spikes, that is technically some noise, man. That is technically noise. Amazon charger. How crazy is that? Let's put that guy back on auto mode. Do you see that? There is no way I would allow an Amazon charger in my hospital. There is no way in hell. That is, look at the night and day difference of that. I bet you real estate wise, the Amazon is probably what? 2/3 larger? 2/3. And weight wise, it feels heavier. How crazy is that? Samsung actually isn't that bad. You can see some of the filtering going on in the Amazons or the Samsung, but it's still got some spikes. Still a little noisy. I mean, given, you know, they only designed it to go ahead and charge their tablet. None of these are medical grade, but I bet you the inside of this bad boy has got some medical grade filtering. It just has to produce that smooth of a 5 volt. But this is, mind you, this is AC coupling on this meter. How do EKG systems have filters and shielding? You know, EKG does have filters, but normally the filter is for 60 hertz. It's a 60 hertz notch filter. And the reason they do that is because your lights, specifically your fluorescent lights, they're going to be 60 hertz. Other devices that have AC in close proximity are going to be 60 hertz. So yeah, 60 hertz is going to be your basic filter. Can you try the Fluke non-contact tester along? Oh, I gotcha. let's see. You know, Bjorn, this is very, very interesting because remember I told you that these operate on the principle of AC. Well, if you take a look at those spikes right there, those might actually be enough to activate this guy. Hold on. Do I even have good batteries in here? I know I should test my test equipment a little bit more often. There we go. Oh my God. Yeah, you guys know what that's about. Look at this shit. I had a battery explode. You see that? One of my AAA batteries completely exploded. What a bunch of garbage. So guys, if you don't know, if you have corrosion like I do, see the corrosion on that spring? So the first thing I do is I try and scratch it off, you know, clear it off. It doesn't look like my traces are that bad on this. So I will try and flick it off as much as possible. And then you can take a Q-tip with some apple vinegar and put some apple vinegar on it, and it actually eats the corrosion right off those springs. It's beautiful. Works perfect. Hold on one second. I'm gonna get a battery to test this bad boy out. Too easy. Let's try this out. I got some fresh batteries. Now, did you guys ever grow up in a household that like never ever has batteries? I know I did. What is it with like our parents and taking batteries, and even when they're expired or possibly old, they just put them in a drawer? That was like the thing back in the 80s. All right, let's take a look. This should work. This time I'll remember to take my batteries out if it's going to be a while in between uses. Those are generic batteries. Those are very generic, in fact. Okay. Let's try it. Okay. All right. So it is lighting up. You know, I have a light on. You can see it's lighting up when it's near it. You can see it pulsating. It's really interesting. Okay, so that's with the Samsung. So it is detecting something there. So let's go ahead and pop that guy off. Let's try the Chinese one. Now, this one here had some small AC waveforms. Let's see if you can still see them on the meter here. There you go. All right, let's take a look at this guy. And I am not detecting anything. It's not detecting anything. Nope. So it does depend on the amount of noise in your, oh my gosh, watch the Amazon. How much you want to bet this guy here is going to just explode? It's going to show all sorts of AC. Look at that. So this one is so noisy that it is actually setting off my meter full time. It's not pulsating. Let's try the Nintendo. The Nintendo is registering. Of course, you can see the spikes there on the meter. Let's try the Apple. So the Apple is registering something. On one side it's not, and then on the other side it is. Huh. All right, so let's try my charging bases. I've got nothing on the Sabrent. Is that not the craziest trend? Here it is. I've got nothing on the Power XL. So guys, what do you think? I wasn't expecting these kind of results, not at all. Looks like capacitive discharge. Well, that's interesting. You know, capacitive discharge, let's see if I can set up a good enough example. Let's see. Okay. Is it this one? Let me see if I can grab onto it well enough. Okay, you can see it right here. Hold on, let's let it get a signal. You see how it does a signal seek when I touch it? That is capacitive right there. It's actually the same principle as my saw stop. I got a saw stop over there, and it sends out a frequency just like that. And when it sends a signal change due to capacitive coupling, then it will immediately fire off the saw. I can hear my meter working. That's kind of cool. Look how noisy that is. That's very interesting. So that is my Sabrent. The Sabrent is not a good one, man. It does charge stuff at home just fine, but this one, look how consistent the waveform is. So let's see. What are you guys saying? For the wall, the non-contact testers that I have look just like the Fluke, and those react to 5 volt DC. Are you sure it's reacting to 5-volt DC, or is it more so reacting to the AC noise that's also down the same DC line? Because I just proved that they don't all react the same. Some of them do and some of them do not register as AC. Hey, bud.
Your camera's on.
Is it?
Yes.
Is it cool? Can you see it?
Mama can always see you on the phone.
Oh, what? Mama's seeing me on the phone?
Yeah.
Somebody keeping track of me?
Yeah, there's the camera.
I know. See? You want to say hi?
Hi.
They're over here.
What?
Yeah, they're over here. That's the camera right there.
The camera.
Hey, camera. Okay. So we're talking about electricity.
What's electricity?
We're also talking about noise.
What's noise?
You know damn well what noise is. You are the noisiest person I ever know.
A noise is like a fire drill?
I think it's reacting to the noise. Try it with open USB end. You know, one of the things I do notice is I'm probably going to have to come up with a resistive constant load to redo this experiment, because I am seeing the pattern change for sure when there is a load. And the only one I can really test it on is the Sabrent and this other unit. So the pattern does change. Hey, come here.
Daddy.
Oh, I can't pick you both up.
Okay, I'm going.
Hey, can say hi?
Hi.
The camera's right there. It's right there. See it?
Hello. Hey.
Okay, see? So we're going over electricity.
Can I
And noise.
tell the electricity?
Do you know what noise is? Is Seth noisy? Yeah. Okay. All right. There you go. Chop, chop. So anyway, you want me to open up the this one? Well, it's not going to show me anything if I open it up. Okay, bye guys. So I would be really curious. Oh, you guys, my kids just love being in the shop. Like I got photos of them helping me build this giant CNC machine because you know, they love being in here. I don't know how to test it. Oh, I know what you're saying. Hold on. So you're saying that it's possible that it's being coupled because I have it plugged into the meter, although the meter is not a load. So remember, the meter, especially on an oscilloscope, is referencing, but it's not really a load. I don't even know if there's enough there to couple it and, you know, change the signal. So let's see. Here is the USB. It's currently plugged in. Yep. So this is on the Power XL. We got nothing. Oh, my bad. So stupid. I heard it beep and I didn't even think about it. It was off. Okay. Okay. So on the Power XL, it does register. I see it flickering a little bit, but it does register on the Sabrent. Let's see. Let's try the Nintendo charger. Uh-oh. Do you see that pulsating? So on one side, it's pulsating, and on the other side, it's constant. You see that? So that means that there's signal going down one of the other wires at the same time on the Nintendo charger. Wonder what that's about. I'm definitely gonna have to experiment with this a little bit more, because who would have thought that there'd be such a variety between name brand chargers? Come on. Woo! Guys, that's kind of scary. You know, Bjorn, you might be right about one thing on this. It's now alerting high voltage. Look at this. I'm touching it. There's no high voltage in there. But this guy is alerting high voltage. You hear it? And that is the Amazon charger. The one that I said has the worst pattern out of all of them, the most noise. So this one is registering as regular full AC, and it does not like it. Okay. See, this is the Chinese charger again. The Chinese charger is the one I said was the best. Well, next to Apple. You see that? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Now the Samsung. On one half of the cable, on the Samsung, it's registering AC high voltage. So, very, very interesting, guys. Who would have thought? Anything connected to USB will absorb the noise. Yeah, and yeah, a little bit. Not too much, but yes, a little bit they are. Well, thank you, Smoke Fox, for that. I appreciate that. They're absolutely beautiful when they're sleeping. When they're sleeping, they're fantastic. Kids really lighten your mood up. You know something? I have had a very rough period lately, and you know, the kids, when I get home, they just want to play. That's all they want to do, and they don't care what my day was like. So yeah, they're fantastic. Yes, these two right here are just amazing. So the Apple charger is the one that has the least amount of ripple. Matter of fact, it's almost like battery quality DC. Okay, so the fluke on the Apple is registering as well. I wonder why that is. That's weird with the Nintendo charger. Well, you know, as I proved with this little experiment, there's a huge variety between these 5 volts. And I've had one time where I had to drive into work, and next to the patient's bed was some garbage USB charger. And in fact, I had one that was the perfect example. It was almost identical to the one that I found in the patient's room, and I was going to show it to you guys. And then I remembered, I think I put it in that last arcade machine that I gave away. I think it's inside it. So I don't have it anymore. If you repeat the test with a linear lab supply, the tester won't react. So it's definitely noise from the charger. You know, I do have a very good lab power supply over here. I do. And it's true, those are perfect quality. Could it be that there's AC leakage, but the amperage is so low that you can touch it? I wouldn't think so. Because of the nature of how these things work, leakage is really not a thing. I mean, if you could imagine, they can go 240 volts. And I think most of these are buck converters. I don't know. I'll have to study up on what type of chargers are in most of these nicer quality USB power supplies. There's definitely leakage, Bjorn. I completely agree. There is definitely leakage. But how much of it, you know? And you have to remember, guys, there's a couple other things that's going on. I am underneath lights, okay? And part of filtering is it's bilateral. Filtering doesn't just work one way down a wire. So if there's noise being picked up from here, maybe from other stuff that's nearby, and it's just not being filtered out correctly, smoothly. So, but you could see based on the little FETs that they have in them and the design of the circuit, there was definitely some power spikes in there. Now, unquestionably, this Amazon right here, this is complete garbage. In fact, hold on, guys. I'm gonna go put this guy over on the bandsaw, and I'm gonna see if I can crack the case on two sides, and then peel it off so we can take a look inside and see what's going on. Actually, you know something? I don't even have to do that. I keep forgetting all the tooling that I got in here, guys. Okay. All right. When I can do it right here on camera. So this is a DeWalt vibratory saw, oscillating tool. Ooh, it smells like plastic. That's a thick, very thick case. Would you believe it? I'm not through that yet. I cut a definite groove down through there, and I'm still not through it. Let's try it this way. Wow. Believe it or not, I'm still cutting. So that means that it might be one thin circuit board in there, and that's all. Nope. Shoot, I might have to take this to the bandsaw after all. I was not expecting it to be this durable, this thick of a case. All right, I'm through. We got it. All right, let's take a look and see what we got. I'm actually looking for a punch to separate this. Okay. Let me get this out of the way so you guys can actually see me hurt myself. Actually sounds very hollow. It's amazing. There we go. It's a durable little sucker, isn't it? Tell you what. This has got one thick case, guys. Maybe I should change out my blade to something a little more aggressive. All right, we're gonna do it one way or the other. All right. That's probably annoying the shit out of you guys, aren't you? I'm just trying to split the case so I can get it open. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Wish I could do a time lapse. There we go. Right. There we go. Don't think I damaged too much in there. So what I'm doing is the circuit board clearly slots in this way. So by me hammering on the plug, you're basically forcing the card out little by little. Wow, wow, wow. All right. Wow, that's a tough little bastard, let me tell you. All right, cool. Let's take a look. Some thin insulation they put on there. Some Celastic. Very, very bare bones. You see that? So they have one transformer. Now let's see. See a couple diodes on the bottom. I can't even read that to see if that's a timer. But 2 large caps. I would think that that's a. What do you think that is? Do you think that's not a mauve, is it? Anyway. See if it. There it goes. There it goes. Okay. Normally mauves are like a blue color like that, but that is right near the 5 volt. But normally a mauve is also tied to your ground plane, which there isn't a ground plane on this one because there's no ground. You know, it's just a 2 outlet thing. So the bottom side, you can see, is very, very simple. So on the AC side, here's my 2 pads right here for the AC, right here and right here. and it goes right over here. And is this a half-wave rectifier? I believe so. And from there, that would mean that your switching is done by this little dude. Wow, they put some Celastic on there and make sure that their stuff wasn't going to get all boogered up. But anyway, that's the Amazon. What do you think? Should I take apart the Apple? I don't use these chargers. If anything, I use these large ones. So I have no emotional connection to this guy yet. It looks very interesting, though. Screw it. Let's go ahead and cut apart the Apple charger, and let's take a look and see exactly what's going on. Yeah, the white stuff is called a Celastic. If I remember right, this Apple charger is absolutely packed full of electronics. So we have to be a little bit careful or else I'll end up cutting a board. So what I'm going to do is try and cut it at the top and the bottom and then just peel it away. And I'm hoping that the contact pins for the Apple are just like this. They're just spring-loaded steel. That's how the Amazon connects to the board. You see right there the spring? It's also got a very thick case. All right, there we go. Let's see if I can just crack it open with a screwdriver. I really want to preserve the boards inside so you guys can see. Oh yeah, excellent. Come on. All right, I'll make one cut down the other side and it should pop right off. Look at all the plastic that's getting all over my desk. Touch something. There we go. Just crack it from this side. Excellent. Wow, these things are glued pretty good, man. Oh yeah, geez, it's a good thing I was careful. Take a look at that for a side cutaway. Let's see if I... Is it really focusing on my face? This stupid camera. There you go. Take a look at that. You can see they have some noise shielding right here. I see plenty of capacitors. I'm going to finish taking it apart so that we can see the rest. Very cool. I've never taken these apart before. All right. Nice and easy. Okay, well, there is stuff at every level on this Apple. Take a look at this. So you can see right here, we have yet another choke. There's a choke right here on this little cable So it's actually got a soldered wire that goes from your outlet to your circuit board, and they put a choke on it. How about that? That's absolutely amazing. That's the smallest choke I think I've ever seen. All right, can I separate it any more? I don't think I can. Well, this is such an excellent example. I'm probably going to take some up-close photos of this so that people can see the difference on the inside. Oh, man. So it looks like the transformer and your transistors are on this side. There it goes. So your transformer and transistors are on this side. Now on this side, you have some of your filtering, and you've got your circuitry right there. Look at, oh, you can see I nicked that capacitor right there. How cool is that? And that is a genuine Apple charger. Bjorn, that's true. Recently saw my laptop charger was leaking 40 to 50 volt AC, while its DC output was supposed to be 19.3. Be concerned about your hand. I know a guy hurt himself pretty bad with a hacksaw. Oh man, I cut the very end of my thumb off on a bandsaw. Yeah, I did something stupid. I got a brand new bandsaw. It was a big one. I don't know if you can see the size of the one I got over here. That's that one right there. It's a big old girl. And I had a bandsaw just like that back in South Carolina. And I was tensioning the blade, and I said, okay, I want to see if there's any sparks, because you know when those blades hit the stainless steel wheels or the stainless steel bearings that guide it, they would sometimes spark. So I wanted to make sure that my wheel was just close enough to the bearing, but it wasn't touching. And I turned the saw on, and I got down there and I was looking at it, and I thought I seen a spark. So I put my finger on the bearing where the blade was right here. I put my finger on the bearing. Mind you, it's really guarded down there. And I was like, okay, well, it's not touching. So I put a little more pressure on it. And what do bearings do? It spun, and my finger went like that. And that quick, it cut away the whole end of this thumb right here. You know, it cut down probably that far. And I ended up treating that myself with Quick Clot. I don't know if you guys have ever heard or used Quick Clot before. It is just the worst stuff in the world to put on a cut, but it will stop the bleeding, which is what I did. I packed the end of my thumb full of Quick Clot, and then on top of that, I put liquid bandage, which is basically like Dermabond. It's super glue basically, and I basically super glued the Quick Clot to the end of my thumb, and that was it until it cured itself, you know. Do I know how to put photos up here? You know, I think I'm gonna switch how I do chat, because I've been doing chat here. I think I'm gonna put a big screen over here on this wall so I can see what you're doing right here, and I might get rid of my laptop over here. I might run it off a PC. In fact, I've got that PC right there. It's just an all-in-one. I'm thinking about doing that. Maybe that'll be my weekend project so I can do this a little better. But I'll have to see. I don't know how to post photos in here. How do I post photos in here? Is there a way? I don't know. I would love to be able to like show you photos. So as I talk about something, I have like a library of photos that I can show you, like, hey, this is the device I'm talking about or whatever. And I just don't see how to do it on here. I believe this to serve as an input filter. JJ, this is a genuine Apple charger. Yes. And what I could do if we wanted to test this guy out, I could bring over my isolation transformer and we could test it out there. One of the things that Apple did, let's see if the camera will pick it up. So take a look that both the line and the neutral are both going through that choke. Both of them are going through that choke, not just the hot side. It's both the neutral and the hot are going through that choke. Here we go. That's even more amazing. You want to talk about some attention to detail. Now, me and Apple, we don't get along. You know, take my word for it. Me and Apple products just normally don't get along. Most of them are engineered to fail eventually. And a lot of Apple people hate when I say that, but it's definitely true. A lot of Apple products are designed to eventually fail. Huh. So there's one ribbon cable that connects both halves. You see a ribbon cable right there? So the ribbon cable connects both halves, and then on the other side there's two wires right here. And the two wires connect the other half. You take a look at the difference between these two. So you have the Apple charger, and then you have the Chinese version. There's no shielding, very bare bones, versus this one. I'll tell you what, just because I'm curious and because I don't have any plans for using it, I'm going to separate out this Chinese one right here. It's got a screw on it. How crazy is that? Hold on just a second. Let me find a bit. It looks like that is a Torx. Let me find a miniature Torx to open that bad boy up. Oh, let's see. Sometimes it's really nice having lots of tools when you got to do some of the stuff on the fly. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Shoot, I can take it out with my fingertips. All right. Now this one here had the second best signal coming out of it. What does that mean? You guys expect me to stab my hand? You're only allowed to do that, what, once per day? I think I've already gotten my one, so let's see. Nice and easy. All right, come on, you bad boy. This one here feels like it's glued a wee bit better. I'm sorry if that's coming through like crazy loud on the camera. That is the risk when you're taking something apart. All right. I'll tell you what, let's just do this. I got a little wing right here holding it together. I will tell you that this Chinese one right here is the thinnest case. So it has the second best signal quality out of all these, but it's got the thinnest case by far. So the saw, like I'm used to sawing through the Apple or through this other, through the Amazon. Look how thick that case was. You see that? That's crazy. There we go. So again, the pins had spring contacts to the board. kind of like that. But definitely no noise choke. Oh, wow. I think I figured out why this one had the second best signal, guys. So if you're around power supplies very much, you're going to recognize several names. And this name here, I don't know if you can see it, it says Aztec. A-S-T-E-C. And Aztec makes a lot of power supplies. So that would explain why this guy is doing reasonably well. So let's take a comparison. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, one of the things I'll tell you right now, you can see these here are your output capacitors. I'm going to put it down. See your large output capacitors? Come on. Let's see what brand they are. VXG brand and Lelon. L-E-L-O-N. Come on. Come on. Well, this camera, come on, Logitech. You can do better than that, man. All right, there we go. Okay, so you can see your output capacitors right here. And these ones here would be your input capacity. All right. So I wanted to say that this was a really good power supply. I want you to take a look at something that I found. I don't know if they intended this. See this chip right here? Okay, right there. See those legs? They are soldered in. I didn't yank those out. Look at the placement of that chip. You know why they did that? I can see it right there. Sorry, guys. I got to get used to the focal distance of this camera. Okay, so look at the size of the compartment that they gave. So right here's the holes, and over here are the other holes. So they stretched the legs out so that it would fit both holes. They made this component work. I don't know if this is a revision or what, but how cool is that? Aztec. These guys make, let's see, hold on. I wonder if I have other Aztecs around here. So Aztec makes the same type of power supplies as Condor, which is this guy. They're like #1 and #2. So this is what I normally see that name brand on. And here they are in some Chinese security camera power supply. But it's got a very hefty transformer on it. And you can see the back of it. Whoop. Ah, this camera. In the words of AVE, focus, you fuck. All right. Anyway, I think I'm going to have to give up on this camera. All right. So this one here is pretty good. This is an excellent demo. I'm going to keep these to show people the difference between a cheap unit and, you know, an intermediate and a really nice unit right here. There is a difference. They all look the same. Everybody thinks they're the same. But if you have a really expensive device, would you get just any 5-volt charger? I mean, I know a lot of people do that. If it fits a USB, you just plug it right in, right? Well, no. If you have a really nice device, maybe one that takes a wee bit of amperage, like some of your iPads and stuff, do not charge it off the cheapest thing you can find. Do not do that. In fact, Apple has a battery monitoring circuit as part of their charger. I know they do. And yeah, that's not part of this one, okay? This one doesn't have a float charger or anything like that. It just spits out, you know, 5 volts. That's all it does. Anyway, guys, Can I link to the Chinese Aztec power supply? Sure. I actually, I can probably remember the security cameras. Where did I get those security cameras? I think I got those security cameras off of Amazon. It was one of those kits where you have like, your DVR and then you got like 4 cameras. Well, that was one of them. And, you've seen how that went. The Amazon unit right here goes to these, I've got these Amazon cloud cams. And it was the default power supply for the cloud cam, which I just took apart. It's okay. If there's one thing I have no shortage of, it's other power supplies. So I'll just plug another one in. I don't care. Years back, I ordered knockoff Samsung chargers from Wish. Man, I've never used Wish. I've heard such horror stories from there. I used them all over the house one hot summer night. Suddenly the lights went out and I smell smoke. Oh yeah, because there is no monitoring circuit. So when they start getting hot or whatever, it's just going to be exponential till it blows. Let's see. I'm going to read back a few. Hold on just a second, guys. See, this is why I need my big display right here. I'm telling you, this weekend it's going to happen. I'm going to put a computer right here so that I can interact across the desk instead of off to the side here. It's kind of goofy for me. Torquil Wrangle. Hey, man, how's it going? A drop of acetone will do the job on that kind of plastic. You are not lying. Although I don't have any acetone. I used to keep that for cleaning metal, and I don't have any here. I should probably pick some up. Oyster knife. I've got hold on 1 second. I got something very cool to show you guys. Whenever you have a hermetically sealed plastic device like that, and there's no hold on. When you have a hermetically sealed encapsulated device like that and you want to break it open, I have a heat gun. Matter of fact, I have one right over here behind the laptop, and it's my hot air station for doing circuit boards. But it works on plastic too, and you'd be surprised. You just have to heat the plastic up to around 150, 200 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 100 degrees centigrade, which is not very hot. So just heat it up, apply even heat, and then you can give it a light tap and it will just clamshell, because the glue is what will it'll be, their strength will be decreased because of the heat. And that especially is true for epoxy. If you ever have something that's epoxy filled and you want to access it, get inside it, all you have to do is heat the epoxy up to 160 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, that is not very hot at all. Just heat it up with a heat gun and then just take like a flat blade screwdriver and chip it right out. It just comes right out. Epoxy. Let's see. So you do more live streams. DJ, so here's the thing. I would like to do more formal videos, but they take so much time to develop. And something like this type of topic right here, or even like the power supplies I did a couple days ago, I think about it all day. And all day I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, how am I going to script this so that people will have as few questions as possible? And it's just not possible. When you tear stuff up and you go inside stuff and you are looking at components, or you're trying to figure out, like, this is one giant experiment. And interacting with people while I'm doing it is the way to do this. And I know it sucks because I haven't been telling anybody what time I'm going to do these live streams and stuff. And, it's just kind of willy-nilly. And I don't really feel like I don't want my life to be that structured at this point. I don't know what to say, man. But what I can tell you If you like, subscribe, and hit the bell, when I go online, it'll say, ding, ding, hey, Justin's online. What's going on? I think that's how it works anyway. When I see the circuit breakers back on, I took a tour of the house. I saw the cheap charger burn. You know, at that moment, I would get rid of all those chargers. I would get rid of all of them. And after this little test right here, I mean, any other charger that comes into my house, I'm definitely going to be testing it out. Because if it's electrically as noisy as this guy, I'll tell you right now, if I have any more of these Amazon chargers in my house, they're going to be gone. It's going to be gone. This shit's going to disappear right here. That's not even going to be around my house. Because, you know, when you have noise like this, electrical noise, it's stuff like this that even affects your Wi-Fi. Yeah. You seen the pattern on this guy? It was all over the place. That is just straight noise. And that's the kind of noise that your router and your Wi-Fi adapter are trying to compensate for, and it slows your speeds. Cheap Chinese chargers and safety not go in the same sentence. Yeah, there's no joke there. It's a nice hammer and screwdriver. Oh, man. Yeah, guys, I just hammered the shit out of stuff. And, you know, this is such a cool example because I'm going to save these. You know, it's kind of like this. I showed you guys once before in another video how I save components, because these are such an excellent teaching tool. I even have fuses. I have fuses that look like they're perfect. You lift it up, you look at it, it looks like it's perfect. Came out of a real device. And that device is broke as it gets because the fuse is blown. It doesn't look like it, but what it does is because of vibration, usually rough handling or something, the fuse will snap at one end. And so you have a filament that's sitting there and it looks like it's good, but at one end it snapped. I've seen it, and I have a fuse around here someplace where it looks like it's perfect. Oh, cool. I get to see that. You know, I'm going to ask for you guys' help in the very near future, because we like really bad equipment mess ups. Like, let's say a user smashed a screen, or let's say they ran over a cord and they damaged the cord. If you guys see really boogered up equipment, or you see funny notes that they left on, I seen a suction pump the other day that had a note that said, "This thing sucks." I was just walking through the hallway and I seen that sitting on it, and I was like, "Oh, that's somebody's got a sense of humor." But if you guys see images like that, please email it to me. I get a kick out of that stuff, and we all, every single person that's around electronics or around nursing staff, we always see the funniest stuff. And people think, oh, they're doctors or nurses, they're so professional. Hell no. I have seen doctors beat the piss out of devices right there in the room. Very professional. I've seen doctors throw scalpels across the room. So, I mean, I've seen all sorts of stuff. But if you see that kind of stuff, if you see anything that's burning, catching on fire, anything that's a little out of the ordinary, give it to me. Send it to me. Email me, abetterbiomed@gmail.com. I'm going to take a look at it, and I'm going to see what you got, because I have so many of these videos where sometimes I'm looking for a stock image, or I'm trying to prove a point on something, and I've seen it personally probably in my history, but I didn't take a photo of it, you know, because half my career was before, you know, smartphones were a thing. So now that I have a smartphone, I try and capture that stuff a little bit more. But anyway, this is the Ifixit Kit, guys. I got this for Christmas, and this little bad boy right here is such an interesting kit. So it's got a suction cup so that you can open phones, tablets, stuff like that. You know, you heat up the perimeter with a heat gun, you get it nice and toasty. You suction it, and then you peel up on it a little bit, just enough to get one of these knives in. And Ifixit sells these kits. What a cool little kit. It's got some guitar picks, and all this stuff is really good for either scratching stuff off, scraping stuff off, or when you start prying up on a device, you start putting these picks around. You know how, like, after you pull your tool out, it wants to close back up? Shove these underneath around the perimeter. And there's a whole bunch of them in here. Look at that. There's what, 6, 7 of them, something like that. So that's what they're for, is they're little tools to help you when you're opening the device up. But yeah, this is a little Ifixit kit, man, and really cool. It's got this plastic tool right here to get in the seam. Once you start cracking it up, you put it in the seam and then you use it as a pry tool. Now, it's really soft plastic, so you have to be careful, but it is non-marring. So if you're opening up a device that you're kind of attached to, you know, it's not so bad. But this kit also comes with some really nice tweezers, really fine point, and the point matches perfectly every time. So what they did is they put these together and then they ground them after they're put together. So many tweezers, they grind them before they come together and the points don't match up, you know? So they put these together and then they ground it. So they're perfect points. I like that. You never know when you're doing some SMD surface mount type of stuff and you need a real precise set of tweezers. And it's got a pretty fairly decent mini driver in here, or precision driver, and a whole bunch of bits. But oh yeah, and I forgot. It's also got this tool. So it's got a pointy thingy and it's got a wedge thingy. And it's just another pry tool. A spudger, they call it. A spudger. Anyway, very cool kit, man. Somebody who got that for me for Christmas knows that I like this kind of stuff. And this kit right here comes with a magnetic lid. So you flip the lid over, you can put your screws in here instead of all over your desk like I do. And then it magnetizes back. You're good to go. What a cool kit. Oh, man. Yeah, the oyster knife. You're right. That is the other thing that they call it. Live streams are fun, but don't have the same rewatch value as scripted videos. You know, you're right. And see, that's the thing, is not too many people, I think, rewatch some of my stuff. It's just the live streams, I can get more data out to you guys at a time. And I don't know. I still produce the other videos too. It's just they're very, very proper and they take so long to do. They take a long time, guys. Every single one of those videos takes me 8 to 10 hours. Easily. You try to snip important parts of the live stream or something like that. Oh man, again. Sometimes I'd rather press on to the next thing. I don't know. Most of my videos, most viewers only watch once anyway. This your point of view emphasizes not slacking while testing. You know, that's why I highly suggest people get used to doing continuity tests. So many people don't even know what continuity tests are, and it's like, man, you should be getting used to continuity tests. I mean, I do that test all the time with my multimeters, all the time. And so many people, it's like, why do you even have a multimeter? Some of you guys don't even know how to use it. Ifixit is gold standard for repair kits. You know, I've talked with Kyle from Ifixit. He wanted me to help him with his he had some manuals. He was trying to create that medical equipment library, and he did. He wanted some help with how he should organize it, and he reached out. Oh, it was very nice. He's a good guy, man. But anyway, guys, I think I covered almost everything that I wanted to talk about. Thank you for watching, and I will try and get some other videos out to you very soon. Since this one doesn't have rewatch value, that's okay. You know, this is a hobby to me, guys. This is a hobby, a straight hobby. To this day, I have not received one dime, technically, from any of this. So hundreds, if not thousands of hours now invested. I've got, I don't even know, like 200 videos online, something like that. And, you know, I've never gotten a single dime for any of this. And I just absolutely love what I do. And I just want to share some of that with you guys. That is it, man. That is it. So thank you very much, you guys. I do have some other stuff. I have some people that reached out to me recently, and they want me to work with them on some videos. More on that very soon. That should be very, very interesting. It's a college that reached out to me, and they want to do some collaboration videos with me. And I thought, wow, that would actually be pretty sweet. And also, I've been invited a couple times to the military Biomed training facility, and it's a newer facility that's over in San Antonio, which is only 2 hours away from me. And I would like to head over there, but this whole COVID thing kind of threw that away. So I'm going to be doing some really cool videos for you guys very soon, especially as soon as COVID releases just a little bit of its grasp on me. And I hope my job eases up a little bit too, because I would love to invest more time showing you guys some of this cool stuff that I see every day. And right now they're watching me, man. They're watching me. So I got to watch what I do when I'm at work and what I can record and what I can't record. Supposedly I can't record anything, but we all know that's not true. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching this. Stay tuned. I'm not going to do live streams every single night. Absolutely not. But when I run into a very cool problem like I had today, and you know, it reminded me of that time before when I had to go in on call in the middle of the night because there was a signal that was on the patient's monitor. It was because of a bad phone charger. So anyway, you guys, you all have one wonderful afternoon, evening, whatever it is for you guys. If you can't tell, I'm tired as hell, man. So I'm going to go and try and get some sleep. Thanks for watching again, guys.